Everyone ignored the quiet girl until graduation day. The moment Emily stepped onto the graduation stage, the entire auditorium fell silent. Then someone in the front row stood up. A teacher began crying. The principal removed his glasses and wiped his eyes. Parents looked at each other in confusion. The students who had ignored Emily for years stared at the stage in shock. Because the quiet girl nobody noticed was about to reveal a truth that would leave the entire school speechless. And within 10 minutes, everything people thought they knew about her would change forever. Emily Carter had spent 4 years being invisible. She sat in the last row. She never raised her hand unless called upon. She never joined school parties. She never appeared in group photos. Most students couldn't even remember hearing her voice. To them, Emily was simply the quiet girl. The girl who always carried old books. The girl who walked alone. The girl nobody paid attention to. At lunch, students gathered around crowded tables, laughing and sharing stories. Emily sat by herself near a window. Sometimes students walked past without even noticing she was there. At first, it hurt. Then she got used to it. Or at least she pretended to. What nobody knew was that Emily's life began when school ended. Every afternoon she rushed home. Not to watch television, not to meet friends, not to relax. She hurried to care for her mother. 3 years earlier, a drunk driver had caused a terrible accident. Emily's mother survived, but she could no longer walk. Medical bills destroyed the family's savings. Emily's father left shortly afterward. Since then, it had been only Emily and her mother. Emily cooked meals, cleaned the apartment, helped with medications, worked small online jobs at night. Then she studied until midnight. Every day, every week, every month, for years. And she never complained. One afternoon, a group of popular students noticed Emily eating lunch alone. Olivia, the most popular girl in school, smirked. "Does she ever talk?" The table laughed. Another student said, "Maybe she's practicing for a silent movie." More laughter. Emily heard every word. Her face turned red, but she kept reading. Inside, her heart hurt. Not because of the jokes, because part of her wished she could join them. Part of her wished she had a normal life. But she didn't, and nobody knew why. Several months later, the school announced a national academic competition. The winner would receive a full university scholarship and a cash award. Students immediately became excited. Teachers encouraged the top performers to participate. When Emily quietly picked up an application form, several students laughed. Olivia looked at her and smiled sarcastically. "You think you can beat everyone?" Emily didn't answer. She simply folded the paper and walked away. The laughter followed her down the hallway. But that night, while others watched movies or scrolled through social media, Emily studied for hours, then days, then weeks. While everyone else slept, Emily kept working. Because she wasn't chasing recognition. She was fighting for a future. As the competition continued, something unexpected happened. Emily kept winning, round after round, challenge after challenge. The quiet girl nobody noticed began defeating the school's brightest students. Teachers were impressed. Students were surprised. And Olivia became furious. Attention was slowly shifting away from her. People started talking about Emily. Teachers praised her work. Students asked questions. For the first time, people noticed she existed. But not everyone liked it. A week before the final competition round, disaster struck. Emily arrived at school and opened her locker. Her project was gone. Months of research, gone. Every note, every document, every presentation file, gone. Her hands began shaking. She searched everywhere. Nothing. Teachers searched classrooms. Nothing. The principal became involved. Still nothing. Emily felt her world collapsing. Without the project, she couldn't compete. Without the scholarship, university seemed impossible. Without university, helping her mother would become much harder. That evening, she sat beside her mother's bed in tears. "I worked so hard," Emily whispered. "What if everything is over?" Her mother squeezed her hand. Then she smiled. "Good people are stronger than bad circumstances." Emily looked at her. "You've survived harder things than this." Those words stayed with her. The next morning, Emily started over. From the beginning, she rebuilt everything, page by page, slide by slide, hour by hour. For 7 straight days, she barely slept. Teachers noticed dark circles under her eyes. Students noticed her staying after school. Nobody understood how she continued, but Emily knew something they didn't. When life gives you no choice, you keep moving. Finally, graduation day arrived. The auditorium was packed. Families filled every seat. Students wore caps and gowns. Cameras flashed everywhere. Excitement filled the room. Then the principal stepped onto the stage. He held an envelope, but before announcing awards, he cleared his throat. "There is something everyone should know." The room became silent. The principal continued. "For 4 years, one student has demonstrated extraordinary courage." People looked around. Who was he talking about? Then Emily's picture appeared on the giant screen. The audience murmured in confusion. The principal began telling her story. Her mother's accident, the financial struggles, the late nights, the sacrifices, the jobs she worked, the care she provided every day. Many parents gasped. Students stared in disbelief. Some teachers wiped away tears. For the first time, people saw the life Emily had hidden. For the first time, they understood. Then something even more shocking happened. The principal called another student to the stage. Olivia. The auditorium grew quiet. Olivia looked terrified. The principal revealed security footage from the week before. The footage showed Olivia opening Emily's locker. The footage showed her taking the project. A collective gasp filled the room. Students covered their mouths. Parents stared in shock. Olivia lowered her head. Tears filled her eyes. The truth was finally exposed. She had stolen the project because she was afraid Emily would win. For years, she had enjoyed being admired. She couldn't accept someone else receiving attention. The room became tense. Everyone expected anger. Everyone expected revenge. Everyone looked toward Emily. What would she do? Emily slowly stood. Then she walked toward Olivia. The entire auditorium held its breath. Olivia began crying. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I was jealous." Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Then Emily did something nobody expected. She hugged her. The audience froze. Even Olivia looked shocked. "I forgive you," Emily said softly. A tear rolled down Olivia's face. The silence was overwhelming. Then applause began. One person, then another, then hundreds. Soon the entire auditorium stood and applauded. Not because Emily was smart, not because she won competitions, but because she showed kindness when she had every reason not to. Then came the final announcement. The principal opened the envelope. His voice shook with emotion. "This year's valedictorian and scholarship winner is Emily Carter." The room exploded. Cheers echoed through the auditorium. Students jumped to their feet. Teachers applauded. Parents cried. Emily covered her mouth in disbelief. For years, she had dreamed about this moment. Now it was real. As she stepped onto the stage, something unexpected happened again. A representative from a local charity stood up. Then another. Then a university donor. After hearing Emily's story, several people had decided to help. Together, they announced a special fund. Not only would Emily receive a full scholarship, her mother's medical treatment would also be covered. The audience erupted once more. Emily broke into tears. For years, she had carried every burden alone. Now, she finally had hope. After the ceremony ended, students surrounded Emily. People who had ignored her for years wanted to meet her. Teachers congratulated her. Parents thanked her for inspiring their children. Even Olivia stayed behind. This time, not as the most popular girl, just as a friend. And for the first time in 4 years, Emily wasn't sitting alone. Years later, Emily graduated from university with honors. Her mother slowly regained mobility through treatment. Emily became a successful doctor. One day she returned to her old high school as a guest speaker. Standing on the same stage, she smiled at the students before her. Then she shared one simple lesson. The people you overlook may be fighting battles you know nothing about. The room became silent, because every student understood exactly what she meant. And nobody ever forgot the story of the quiet girl everyone ignored until graduation day.